It's gotten so bad over the last year, and I'm just over it.
Jennifer Wilkins has lived on Glass Plant Road for 10 years. She lives and works on the property. Wilkins says it used to be quiet, but now she feels like she's living in a post-apocalyptic nightmare.
There was a drive-by shooting here a couple months back, right there. That's 50 feet from my door.
She says last year, 20 catalytic converters were stolen from her customers. So she installed 64 cameras and an electric fence.
7,000 volts, so it'll hurt. My breaking point was last night. There was a domestic situation and some guy drove his car into the slough. And I'm like, you know what? This is getting ridiculous. Right after that, as I'm walking my dog home, I get attacked by a dog that came from one of those camps. And I'm done. I'm just done.
Well, joining us virtually from Portland, Oregon is Jennifer. You've had to put up a fence around your property to feel safe, and when you go outside it, you don't feel safe.
Well, it's made me feel like I'm a prisoner in my own home. I mean, you see the pictures. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that people are living like that, and it's unacceptable that I have to live afraid to leave my own home.
What do you suggest those people do? What do you think should happen with those people? Because I promise you, they don't choose to be living on the side of that road.
The ones that I've been dealing with they're criminals. The police came in and actually tagged them all and said, you have to move or get arrested. So they started moving. And in one morning, they took 17 stolen cars out off of my road. Just in one morning, like a 3-hour window. That's not just a homeless situation. That's a criminal situation.
Yeah, so it's not about the homeless people necessarily. It's about people that were committing crimes.
Then
and
those
that's
people
what
should
we
be
have.
arrested. Then take those people that are
but
living.
not for being
Hold on a second.
homeless. And if people are committing crimes, deal with the criminal activity.
I think most advocates for the homeless population believe in two things: housing first and allowing public camping. And you can shake your head, but that's a simple truth. Because listen, we've studied cities in America, one of which you're from, Seattle. We've studied Portland. We've studied San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, DC, and yes, Austin, Texas. All 9 of those cities have at one time had a camping ordinance. The problem with a camping ordinance is that it is unsafe, it is unsanitary, and most importantly, it is unregulated. We don't want to put homeless people in jail. What we want is for people to be in safe and sheltered environments as much as possible. What we want is for taxpayers to be treated with respect. The reason we talk about the homeless and the non-homeless is that the non-homeless are being asked to pay for everything the homeless need. So all we're asking for is accountability. And the simple fact is, Housing First does not require that. Housing First measures heads in beds.
You're factually inaccurate.
What am I factually inaccurate about specifically?
Housing First is a philosophy.
No, it's part of the state law in California. The entire state of California has Housing First.
The program that we're talking about, that we've talked about several times, is called permanent supportive housing. And all we're saying to you is there's a more productive way of doing this. Don't raise money to raid encampments, raise money to build housing.
You want the same government who's causing these issues to solve it. The reason why homes are so expensive is because 35 to 50% for the costs to build a house are permit fees. They're government regulations. You guys keep looking for government to solve a problem that government's creating. That's why homes are expensive.
There's vacant buildings in every community. There's a whole program called Title V that makes federal property to be used for homeless programs. However, what happens is communities fight it. Communities say, we don't want those people in our backyard.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.